Good afternoon. You'd think that the microphone wasn't on by that response. I'm going to try this again because this is a pretty stinking exciting day. Good afternoon. There you go. That's better. Hey, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Innovation Hills. Maybe some of you, this is your first time here, and we hope that this is certainly not your last. We are thrilled to be here for a very exciting day in the history of the City of Rochester Hills. First off, want to thank you for those of you who manipulated your schedule to be with us here today. The thunderstorms did not materialize yesterday like they were supposed to. But listen, if you want to be an innovative community, right, only innovative communities cancel groundbreakings on really perfect days. So it's consistent with our character. So we do appreciate you being here today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the green carpet walk down to what we think will be a very green example of what recreation and environmentalism can truly be here in the City of Rochester Hills. This is an important day for our city because this is really the first new park that we've developed in over 25 years. A major investment in the quality of life in our residents and in this particular area of town. Now this is a story, this park, as most parks and most projects really are. And none of this story is written or brings us here today without the generous help of our sponsors and our friends in government, many of them who you'll hear from in just a few minutes. But before I get to hearing from our sponsors and to hearing a little bit about the story of this park, I want to recognize some of the elected officials in the crowd today. We're joined by our Congressman, Mike Bishop. Where's Mike? Right behind. There he is. Mike is behind us. As he always is. State Senator Marley Nolenberg. State Rep Mike Weber. Our Council President Mark Tisdel. Our Vice President Stephanie Merida. Councilwoman Jenny McCardle. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate the support of our elected officials. Now, I mentioned that we're here to write another chapter in the story of this park. Now, many of you know, and some of you don't, but I'll take you back to the beginnings. This park was founded in 1991 when the city purchased this property as a beautiful piece of undeveloped land. 70 plus acres south of the Clinton River. An inspiring combination of prairie, dense hardwood, forests, pristine wetlands, christened by the majestic and beautiful Clinton River that winds through this site. Initially named Riverbend Park, what we acquired was really a blank canvas, an open book, and an opportunity for us to create, dream, and believe that this could be something bigger than it already was. An opportunity for us to leave a legacy for the residents of this community well into the future. In 2012, another chapter in this story was written. The city invited architecture and landscape architecture students from Lawrence Tech to participate in a design studio for the park. They camped on site right here overnight for a weekend, created aspirational visions for the property. We asked them to dream without any financial constraints as to what could this property be, what could be done here, what could be created. Frank Nunez, who's here with us in the crowd today, and with the Design Team Plus at the time, assisted them in bringing their thinking to life visually. And their work culminated in a presentation to the Rochester Hills Planning Commission and to me. Their ideas and exhibitions found their way into the walls and in the halls of our buildings at City Hall. And then the story took an unanticipated turn. One individual, an engaged resident, helped us forge a new path. Steve Stollerich was his name. And he visited City Hall one day and he saw those drawings and those depictions. He saw the beginning of our plan and he enthusiastically offered to help. And the rest of this particular chapter began writing itself. It was the generosity of Steve and the Steve and Vivian Stollerich Foundation that provided the initial funding for this park. Hands down, it was Steve's contribution of time, talent, and treasure that launched the transformation of the park. In 2014, the Mayor's Institute on City Design added another chapter. The relationship with the Institute, cultivated from our involvement with the United States Conference of Mayors, is a think tank of some of the brightest and sharpest minds in the country that helps cities envision what can be in a particular space. The Institute conceptualized even more thoughtful and creative ideas for this park. Now, since that time, even more design work has taken place, and you see some of the drawings behind me and around you of what will be created in this park in the months to come. What we're creating today is an eco park consisting of woods, waterfalls, wetland overlooks, sensory gardens, over 4 miles of trails, both paved and rustic, scenic pond vistas, and a large, unique natural elements playground never seen before in our region. In Rochester Hills, we are indeed and tremendously proud to be innovative by nature. It's who we are. And our story describes Innovation Hills as a place that will provide an exceptional natural recreational experience for park users of all ages and of all abilities. With Innovation Hills, Rochester Hills is solidifying its position as the preeminent place to live, to work, and to raise your family. Now, I know most of you know my personal passion for this park. Frankly, hardly a day goes by that I don't think or dream about what this place will be in the very near future. And so I want to personally thank all of you who are here in attendance today, watching at home on Facebook, and certainly the folks represented by the speakers you'll see here today. All of you have played a critical role in helping us write this story. So now I'd like to ask a few folks that have contributed significantly to the phenomenal success that we've enjoyed to date to make a few remarks. And I'd like to start with the very strong support that we've experienced with our relationship with the Rochester Hills City Council, led by their president, Mark Tisdel. Mark?
Well, this is a bold and creative, and as the mayor often uses the term, innovative idea. And there's really only one person in our city that could have pushed that forward, and that's the mayor, with the support of Ken Elwert, our Parks and Forestry Director. I know Sarah Rodiger and her team, and even Alan Schneck and the DPS team have had a big part in getting this off the ground and moving forward. For the early supporters, the early donors, thank you very much. But for everyone that has an interest in seeing this park developed to its fullest, just know that the City Council and Vice President Marie is here, and Ms. McCardle was here, just went off someplace with her daughter. We're 100% behind this effort. We've committed $4.5 million over the next 4 or 5 years for this, and we will see this through to its fruition. Again, thank you to Mayor Barnett, the early donors, the support of our department directors and their respective teams. Thank you.
One of the great things that we were able to do with some help, of course, we have a fantastic relationship with Senator Nolenberg and with Representative Weber, but through their leadership and their strong advocacy for this park and this dream and this idea, they advocated with the help of our government liaisons, Midwest Strategies, to help us secure a $500,000 grant in this current budget from the state of Michigan, without which would have been very difficult to attain. So it's my pleasure and privilege to ask Senator Nolenberg, followed by Representative Weber, to make a few remarks. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor, and it's a privilege for me to be here today as well. And when I think of just the name of it, innovation, I mean, that's inspiring to me, and it's a thing of beauty to come up with something that's so fitting for this area. I mean, there's nothing here. There was nothing here before. Now we're going to innovate it. I think it's sort of telling about the name, and I'm looking forward to the park being fully implemented and being able to use it myself. And when I think of why we're all here, all of us, you in the audience and us back here, it's really a partnership. And so, the partners that contributed to this project, we're all partners in all of this. And my contribution and Representative Weber's contribution is, as state legislators, is partnering with our local communities. And it's important to have that partnership. They had a wish list, they had a demand, and fortunately we were able to secure $500,000 for this project. It was an easy ask for us, and it's something that we believe in and happy to support it, and can't wait for the shovel to be dug and the ponds to be put in and for all of us to use. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just echo a lot of that. Mike Weber, I serve, and it's an honor to serve the greater Rochester area in the state legislature, and And prior to that time, I spent 7 years on the Rochester Hills City Council. So I was there, and it was great that the mayor went through some of that early history, 2012, 2014. I was there for some of the beginning parts of this discussion, and the quality of life that we are able to help provide for the residents with our Parks Department, all the different parks that we currently have, and the different uses that we're able to provide. This park will just enhance what we're already able to do, and so we're really excited about it. I remember even early on when I was in the State House, we had Lieutenant Governor Calley come, and we tried to explain to him, the need for hopefully for some state funding for this project. And after working with Senator Nolenberg and our colleagues in the Senate and the House, just trying to locate the grant money to do this was something that was very easy for us to do and advocate for, and happy that it's coming to fruition this year, and look forward to the project coming to fruition here in the months and years ahead. Thanks.
They got us $500,000 last year. I can't wait to see what they get us next year.
Hey,
Here.
One of the first groups that stepped up to stand up with us and say they wanted to be a part of this project was our friends at Chief Financial Credit Union. Since their introduction to this community, I've found them to be one of the organizations that is always willing to stand up to be counted and to contribute and to participate, and not just financially, but with the resources of their team. They've really integrated well into this community, and Chief Financial in particular sponsored, if you see the drawings over my shoulder, the waterfall that will be in the center of the pond, as well as the pavilion area, some of the gathering spaces. And so certainly want to thank them and allow them a few moments to speak, and specifically want to thank their president and CEO, Tom Dluzen from Chief Financial. Tom?
Well, it was about 2 years ago that Mayor Barnett and Maria took me to lunch, and they had some pamphlets and showed me what it was supposed to look like and all that, and asked if we'd be an early donor. And it looked very cool, right? In my mind, I'm thinking, this isn't going to happen. And then I asked if we can get our money back if we did donate. So I just kidding. But no, all kidding aside, if anyone could drive this forward, it is Mayor Barnett. I think everybody probably here agrees with that. And just standing out here, looking around, seeing it starting to happen, it's very exciting for us, for probably all of us here. So as Mayor Barnett said, we're kind of new to the community, but we've jumped in with both feet, and proud of what we've done here, and proud of this too. Proud to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Tom mentioned he had some doubts about whether we could do it. I remember meeting with Maria, and Tom wrote the check, and we had the same doubts, like, will this thing cash? Listen, you talk about being involved in the community, and this next individual and, of course, his fantastic wife have been tremendous supporters of so many things in this community. And John and Mary Modetz were actually the very first people that I approached about this project and asked them to consider being a part of it. And I didn't doubt that his answer would be yes. I just wondered what he would find that would speak to the legacy that he wanted to leave here. And I'm proud to introduce him as a friend and let you know that John and Mary Modetz have funded the ponding that you see over here that will start up by the parking lot and wind its way down to our major ponds. And I think will be an amazing attraction, drawing everyone into the park to explore the 100 acres behind us. So the first donor to this park, my friend, John Modetz.
It was really simple. Bryan had talked to me about it one day at Rotary. He had brochures, kind of what you saw. And I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's amazing. Then he talked about Brooks Patterson's late son, Brooksy, how they were going to have a trail here. So I said, I'll take that up with my beautiful wife, Mary. And we were having dinner at home that night. And she said, I think we'd like to look into that. So Bryan invited us to his beautiful office that I'd never been to before, shared what he envisioned, and said, I think we'd like to be part of this, right, Mary? She already had the checkout. And I admire you for that, because it's such an important thing. As all the speakers were talking, I was watching these 3 children walking up and down the path, holding hands. And that's what I envision. Right now, so many of them, like Bryan still has fairly young children at home. We're enjoying the 4 grandchildren. And I envision them doing the same thing, walking through these trails, playing on the swing sets, and knowing that their grandma, their papa, and their Ama has some small part of this. So thank you very much, and we're so honored to be part of this.
By the way, Maria, clear my calendar. I'm going to dinner at the Modetz house tonight just to see if there's anything else there.
There is.
You know, another outstanding family that has their legacy all throughout this community, not just in Rochester Hills, but I was reading just in the paper last month about a significant contribution that they made to my alma mater in Oakland University, and know the legacy that they have in so many organizations, including Beaumont and others. It's hard not to do anything in this community that hasn't been supported by the Moceri family. And we've had a fantastic relationship, both personal and professional, with their organization and with them as people. And I am so grateful that they stepped up and wanted to be a part of this park as well. Their family has provided the largest gift to this park. And if you get a chance and you look behind you, you'll see the drawing of the park, the playground area. Let me tell you what that playground is and is not going to be. It's not going to be like anything you've ever seen. My challenge to our design team is to design a playground that is unlike any other you could visit anywhere in Southeast Michigan. It's designed to be unique. It's designed to be all-inclusive, something available for all abilities. We want to have, certainly we've been engaging the autistic community and implementing designs. And what you see behind you is just a start of what's going to take shape in the area behind the tent. And so with a very generous contribution to get the playground area started, I'd like to ask Jerry Moceri to represent the family and make a few comments. Jerry.
Laughter. It's one of the most beautiful forms of music there is hearing kids' laughter. And to be able to sit by the playground and hear the kids as they go up and down the slides and scrape their knees, and even with their screaming, it's still music to our ears. But the joy that that brings to us, and hopefully brings to everybody else, is the thanks and the way that we want to envision and share in the community. So as you think of Innovation Park and the trails to walk and everything else, and I'm one who always looks for new trails to walk, and you know, it's about the length that I typically do on a day is 4 miles. But then beyond that, it's looking at the kids with the slides and the smiles and the glow in their eyes. That's what our community is about. Thank you.
We also want to thank at this time a couple other very generous donors to this project that couldn't be here today. Hamlin Tool and their leadership, as well as the Brooksy Way Foundation, all gave significant contributions. And folks, just so you understand the depth of the connection and the contribution, the folks on this stage have contributed over $1 million to the funding of this project. Can we get a round of applause for that? I want to just share with you for a minute some of the things that you'll experience when you come to this park. And many of you have asked about the timeline. As basically as soon as you leave, Ken Elward and the team fire up the trucks and we start digging these. Yeah, so don't, let's not take a lot of time here today, folks. We got to get these. No, the folks, we actually pulled them off site yesterday to keep the dust down today. But before the end of the year, we're going to dig the ponds that you see over my shoulder here. We're going to fill them. We're going to put the trails around them. One of the things I'm most excited about is some of those trails that surround the lake will be glow-in-the-dark trails because it's going to be different. It's going to be unique, and it's going to be fun. Right, Dan? Right. He's making it happen for me. Once I say it from the mic, it has to happen. So they're also going to work on some of the areas that will provide the loops down around me. By the way, at the conclusion of our program here today, we'll be giving some tours of the park. We've got some golf carts to take folks down to see some of the areas down by the river. It's about a 15-minute walk to get all the way to the river from where we stand here. It's a huge, beautiful piece of property, and we hope you'll get a few minutes to explore it. But not only will you see the work taking place up here, but the ponding, the Modetz ponds that will take us down. Ultimately, you'll have the pavilion here. The playgrounds will come. Later phases of the park call for, if you've ever been to the Grand Canyon, they've got the bridge that scoots out over the Grand Canyon. We've got a similar bridge that scoots out over the 40-foot cliffs, or the 35-foot cliffs over the Clinton River. We've got woodland trails. In the initial stages, we'll have some boardwalk trails. There'll be, as I said, enough to do a 5K on the property and never leave Innovation Hills. And so we're extremely excited about what's going to take place in the very near future here. And next year, when we come back in the summer for the ribbon cutting, I think you're going to be amazed. Like I said, I challenge our team every day to design and dream and not show me anything that I've ever seen before, because we want this truly to be an innovative destination for our residents. So as the story continues, you each have an opportunity as well to contribute your ideas to the pages of this book. If you're traveling and you see a really unique idea, whether it be a crazy cool drinking fountain or a piece of park equipment or the way people move and understand how to get wayfinding in an area, we want to know it. We want to implement it. We want to see if we can create something truly regional here that has never been done before. It's not easy to dream, but this is worth it. This is worth sticking to it and creating something that can be a legacy in our community for generations to come. The story of this park is being written today, and it's being written in real time. And we're excited and appreciate the role that all of you and all of you behind me have played to date. I want to thank you so much for believing in this dream with me, for helping us create something cool for the City of Rochester Hills, and for helping us to create something innovative for the next generation. I'd now like to ask the group up here to join me as we actually break ground in this area over here. We'll take a picture of that group, followed by the City Council. And finally, a group I want to end with, I want to thank the employees of the City of Rochester Hills. Absolutely. The final picture will be with all the employees of the City of Rochester Hills that are here today, because a park project like this certainly starts in the Parks and Natural Resources Division, but every department will touch and have an impact on this particular project. And I could not do this without the fantastic leadership and support and the dreams, the sweat equity, and all of the things that the employees of this community bring to their jobs each and every day. So the final picture will be with probably the most important people, and that are the people that will bring this park to life, the employees of the City of Rochester Hills. So we'll close the official program today. I invite you to stay to enjoy some snacks that we've provided. And then if you'd like to take a tour of the park, you're certainly welcome to walk down. We've staged and we've queued the deer and the turkey to leave at the exact right time. But there'll also be some golf carts to take you back and enjoy the park as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innovation Hills. Thank you.